Okay, so today's video is going to be on removing and reinstalling a piston. We'll just need a 3/8 inch ratchet, extension, a 13mm 12-point socket. So if you don't have a 13mm 12-point, it won't work if you just have a standard 13mm. So this is a standard one. It doesn't actually fit on the nut itself. So we're going to loosen off our connecting rod caps. Always be careful not to drop the bolt into the lock itself. And then I can pull off my connecting rod cap. This is our bearing inside. This engine has been around for a very long time, but definitely some bearing wear. These are also indexed to go into a particular direction, so make sure that when you remove them, that they're facing the same way you put them back on. Now I can grab my connecting rod, just gently push it down. And I'm going to use the end of a mallet here. Just tap. And I'm using a rubber mallet. Don't want to mar or hurt the crankshaft in any way. And our piston comes out the bottom. There's our piston. You can see our different piston rings on it, our piston pin, connecting rod. Now we're going to spin the engine over and go through the reinstallation procedure. Okay, so our piston is going to be facing in this direction here. And we're going to need piston ring compressing tool. So there's different sets of bands for larger and smaller pistons. We want to make sure that we have the correct band for this one. And then we're going to put the piston between, compress our tool. It will then compress the rings and allow us to slide this down into the cylinder, into the engine. I'm going to use the end of my mallet, gently tap this in. So my left hand is going to go underneath. I'm going to feel the piston, the bottom of the connecting rod, to make sure that it goes over top of the crankshaft. And I'm guiding it so that it doesn't scratch any of the bearing surfaces. I'm going to spin the engine over just so you guys can see. Now you can see the piston is reattached to the crankshaft. Going to reinstall our cap. And our nuts. And now I would torque it to spec. So in this case, this is our practice piston. We'll just use our 3/8. Generally they're around 25 to 30, but it's always, especially with engines, pertinent that you torque to the correct specification. And that's the reinstallation and removal of a piston.